We knew it wasn't okay, and we stayed anyway in that job, that relationship, that environment. We knew it wasn't okay. Not in our bodies, not in our guts, not in the quiet moments when no one else when no one else was around, and yet we stayed anyway. We didn't stay because we were stupid. We didn't stay because we didn't see it. We didn't stay because we thought we could fix it. We stayed while knowing that it's the part no one talks about. And the cost wasn't just time, it was energy. And cost was what we taught ourselves every time we stayed. We taught ourselves that discomfort was normal, that our intuition was negotiable, that this isn't okay was something to tolerate instead of respond to. And slowly, we stopped trusting ourselves at all. Here's the truth that most people don't even want to touch. You didn't stay because you didn't know better. You stayed because leaving would have required admitting that what you hoped for was never really going to happen. Staying was easier than grieving. Staying was easier than starting over. Staying was easier than saying, I chose this longer than I should have. I stayed in this job where the boss didn't appreciate me. I stayed in this relationship where I wasn't honored. I stayed in this environment that was toxic to me. So you called it loyalty, you called it patience, or being the bigger person, walking that higher road. But underneath, it was fear that would come after that truth that you admitted to yourself. Somewhere along the way, you learned that leaving meant that you were the problem, that walking away meant that you failed, it, and that enduring meant strength. So when your body whispered, this isn't right, something's off, we need to change things, you answered with logic, with excuses, with hopes. Oh, they'll get better. I'll get that raise. Things will improve. You learned how to override yourself beautifully. You did a brilliant job. But here's what that pattern costs you now. You hesitate when clarity shows up, when that right opportunity is presented to you. You second guess decisions that you already feel sure about. You ask for confirmation long after your soul has already answered. It knows what you are meant to do next. Not because you're weak, but because you've trained yourself to stay in places that require self-betrayal just to survive. Look, this isn't about blame, and it's definitely not about shame. There's no judgment here. It's about seeing the moment clearly. You stayed because leaving would have shattered that version of reality for you. You're still trying to protect it, and that makes sense. But staying taught your nervous system that not okay was something to live inside of. So you feel restless now. You feel like you're done, but you can't explain why. You feel like something is ending, but without a dramatic reason. This is not confusion. This is clarity finally being loud enough to interrupt that pattern. Look, you don't need to justify why that wasn't okay. You don't need a villain. You don't need permission. You already knew that things needed to change. And the fact that you see it now means that you're no longer willing to disappear just to keep the peace. This isn't about what you stayed in. It's about what you're no longer available for.